What? Wow. I did not expect this. Holy smokes. Pretty unreal. So, for today's adventure, we have set off to the hills to attempt to make contact on my ham radio as a newly licensed ham radio operator technician. I just got my license approved yesterday after taking my test about a week and 4 days ago. Anyway, so we're up here trying to find a proper spot to obtain a good line of sight to a local repeater. There's several repeaters out here in the valley, and that's what our purpose is up here. We could have tried it inside the valley down below, but what would be the fun in that? All right, well, these 40-year-old trucks, you know.
Okay, well, sorry, this is unscripted. I probably need to start working on putting scripts together, but this is just how it goes. Today we are talking about backcountry communications, of course, and still have several videos to produce for the Garmin Inreach mini satellite text communicator, but that goes hand in hand for me with the Baofeng handheld ham radio. So today we are going to, I think, having both of these things in your toolkit, in your bag for a backcountry trip, or particularly if you're in your vehicle, or maybe you're not necessarily backpacking deep into the backcountry. These things are definitely indispensable and worthwhile. This one, on the one hand, is going to cost you somewhere between upwards of $400. And then you got to have at a minimum a $15 a month subscription, but that's indispensable, and more videos are forthcoming on this. You can check out the channel, check out the playlist that I already have going for what I've done with this so far. Now, as far as the Baofeng radio, ham radio, this will run you, I think, as cheap as maybe $30. And then I got my setup with the Nagoya NA771 antenna, the extended battery, which is this part here, battery charger, etc., for around $85 or something like that. So, and anyway, let's just get into it. So I've had this radio for about 4 years now. I was on firefighting contract, helicopter firefighting out in California, and one of our heli managers had one of these on his person. So I took a look at it, and he said, "Oh yeah, they're like $40 on Amazon." So I went ahead and bought one, picked it up, ordered it all, the whole kit, and I basically, over the last 4 years, pretty much barely used it at all. I kind of programmed a few frequencies, listened to some local fire stations and police stations and whatnot, traveling around, just out of amusement, really. And so, aside from that, I've listened to weather stations just to be sure that the dang thing works. And then, ever since taking the test about a week and a half ago, I've tuned up some frequencies. In fact, a friend of mine, Mike, who you might remember from the desert tour on our GS bikes, we both went and took the test together, and he has the programming cable. I have a programming cable as well, but I run on Max, and after spending hours and hours and hours trying to get shit programmed, I just was like, dude, can you just load this thing for me? And sure enough, he did it for me. So anyways, since taking the test, tuned up a few done some scanning and listened to some repeaters, listened to a few conversations, eavesdropped on a few conversations that really weren't very interesting. So other than that, that's all the usage I've gotten out of this thing up till this point. So today we are going to give it a try and see if we can reach a repeater, and I'm going to show you basics of the minimums of what you need to use this at a bare minimum. And then there's plenty of other videos on the internet that go on into great detail of how better to use it, but we're just going to cover the basics today to get you started and what I'm going to do as a first-time operator user. And hopefully we actually achieve success over here. If we don't, well, then we're going to just dip back down into the valley and try to call up some folks on the repeater and see if we can make contact. I think we'll be able to at some point today, hopefully up here on the mountainside. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need to know is some frequencies, right? So there's a lot of places, a lot of sources online to get your frequencies from. This app happens to be the most current repeater database, and it's super handy. So there's a few other ones out there that I couldn't get to work. This is called Repeater Book, and it's super easy. It's free. So that's all you got to do is tap that sucker, open it up, and activate your current location, and it'll tell you right off the bat. There you go. The distance, the bearing of the closest repeaters. So you can tap on whichever one you want. We're going to actually we're going to try the Altamont repeater because it's out this direction instead of across the mountains. But that's going to be a pretty long push to get to Altamont. So 25.8 miles. We're going to tap that. You can generally get most of the information you need without tapping it, but there you go. So those are the numbers that we're going to need. The transmit frequency, the repeater frequency, the receive frequency, so there's a offset, that's what that's called. This is a positive offset. And your CTSS FM frequency, we're going to have to program that as well. Okay, so this is the Baofeng BF-F9V2 Plus model. Like I said, I bought it 4 years ago. I have not seen this particular model available recently. So the UV5R seems to be the most prominent one available that most everybody has. This one has 8 watts of power output. So anyway, there's different varieties of this radio. This just happens to be this one. So they're all run on the same basic principle. So we're going to pop it on.
Channel mode.
You got your 2 modes. Channel mode and frequency mode.
Frequency mode.
Frequency mode basically means you can just punch in any frequency that you see and you're not programming anything. All of your channel modes are pre-programmed channels which you can manipulate, and that's what we're going to do here. We're going to load this frequency up.
Channel mode.
So I've got several of these other ones programmed, but I'm going to program this particular repeater in to spot number 113. So the first thing we're going to do is hit menu.
Menu.
Go to the shortcut of 28. Okay, we're going to delete.
Delete channel.
But I don't want to delete 112. I want to delete 113. I'm going to confirm the deletion of it.
Confirm.
There we go. It's deleted. Okay, now we go back. Now if we look right here, we can see that channel 111, 112,
120,
and there's nothing in 113.
110,
okay.
1120.
So here we go. The first frequency we need is the top one, which is the receive frequency, meaning that's what this receiver is going to receive the frequency being broadcast from that station. So that frequency is, in this case, the top one. Then the transmit frequency is what we're going to broadcast out, so we're going to need that one next. Alright, so we need to get out of channel mode.
Frequency mode.
Now we're in frequency mode. Okay, you got this little toggle right here to flip between the top and the bottom. So we're gonna program. We're gonna use the top line to program this frequency. So it is 14728 Okay, and now we're gonna hit menu.
Menu.
We're gonna go down. We're gonna program a memory.
Memory channel.
And we're gonna change it to 113. There we go. Confirm it.
Receiving memory.
So now we can receive whatever's being broadcast from that station. Okay? Now we're going to hit exit. Now to confirm that, we'll go back into channel mode. We'll call up 113.
113.
There you go. That's the frequency. 147.280. Now we'll get back out. We're going to program the CTSS and the transmit frequency.
Frequency mode.
Okay, so now the number we need to dial in is 147.88.
14788.
0.
0.
Menu.
Menu.
We're going to go 13 because this TCTSS is what we need to program. And that frequency in this case is FM 107.2. So, hit menu.
Menu. CTCSS.
1072. Menu.
Confirm.
It's confirmed. Now we're going to navigate back to the frequency part, which is 27, sorry. Memory channel. Okay.
Memory channel.
Now we're going to confirm it, and it's going to program the frequency that we had loaded previously right into the transmit. Listen.
Transmitting memory.
There we go. It's done. It's programmed. So now we're exited out of that. We can switch back to the channel mode. We can see 113 is the channel we programmed it into. There's our frequencies. And now when we chunk the repeater, or try to, you will see that the frequency changes and to the broadcast frequency. And I shouldn't say broadcast frequency, to the transmit frequency. So there we have it. This thing is all set up to give it a test. Let's see what we get. This is KJ70HN monitor. Okay, so I think we're probably just too far away. I'm going to try some other things. We'll get back to you.
7CW repeater.
We're picking up signal now. Repeater. So that's good. That's promising. Whew, it's a little dangerous over here. Let's step back from that edge a little bit. So we're going to try this again on the Altamont repeater, which is out in that direction over there, 28 miles. That's a lot to ask out of this little antenna, I suppose. This is KJ70HN monitoring, trying to make contact, my first ham radio contact. On the Altamont repeater, please call back. Well, I suppose that indicates a contact, but absolutely can't make out what they're saying, so probably a little bit too far away at 29 miles. This is KJ70HN. I did receive back unreadable transmission. I believe that was a transmission up here at Ice Cave Peak on the southeast.
Transmit over time.
On the southeast slope of the Uintas, trying to make a repeater contact. My next attempt will be over to the Vernal, one of the Vernal repeaters, so clear at this time. All right, well, Now, I programmed in the one of the vernal, the closer vernal repeater. The problem is, it's over that way. Don't really have the greatest line of sight, as you can tell. So that one's 24 miles that away, and it should be sitting on top of one of those far mountains way over there. But I think we're going to have to get a little bit better line of sight, a little bit clearer line of sight for communications. What this does is potentially illustrates a couple things, which are that, number one, I possibly don't have it programmed properly, but I'm pretty sure I got it squared away. Secondly, that at 28 miles away, direct line of sight, this radio with this type of antenna may not be the most reliable form of communication. And so when considering backcountry travel, obviously you're going to have to try to get to the highest peak to make a transmission, but depending on the rolling hills, that may pose a challenge. So, more to be determined on this. So what we're going to do is, real quick, I'm going to show you, I should be able to pull up the weather reporting stations nearby, and we should be able to draw in some weather. I've been able to successfully do that well up into the mountains over here. So let's try that.